Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Solely Kaylin and I'm so glad you're here today. I have a lot of things on my heart that I'd like to share about what I'm currently struggling with as a 22-year-old. Whether you're similar in age to me or not, I'm sure we can find a lot more that we relate on rather than not. And this is not an advice video, by the way. I simply just need to let it out and feel heard because I know that I'm not alone. I know that so many other people are struggling. So if I can make you feel less alone, that would be great. We're just gonna get right into it, the real and rawness of what I'm currently going through. Starting off with the most prominent thing that's been in my life. For the past year, I've been grieving a 4-year relationship. So that ended about a year ago, and the grieving process is so like up and down to the point where literally last night I had a really hard night, like sobbing my eyes out, and I'm just like, why? Like, I get upset at myself almost, like, why do I feel like this was just yesterday? Like, seriously, like, why am I this distraught over it? Like, it's been a year, like, I should be farther along now, and that's like not the healthiest thoughts, and I should be giving myself more grace, but it's just upsetting, and I don't like feeling like bringing the same burden to my friends over and over again, so I just don't even like to reach out at this point to like ask for help, because it's like nothing anybody says to me either is like actually going to help me. And like, that's not to like talk down on my friends. Like, my friends are very supportive and obviously they're going to give me loving encouragement, but like, and I appreciate that in the moment, but it's just like it still doesn't do anything for my heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for like the hurt that I'm feeling, like the hurt doesn't just go away. And it's like, I hate missing someone who is still alive and still living a life and just not being a part of that life and just not knowing what they're up to, and just it drives me genuinely insane, and it makes me go in circles, and it's like all the what ifs pop in, like I think about how much I've grown in the past year, and it's like, oh my gosh, like what would it be like now? And it's just like, what can I do about it? Genuinely, what can I do about it when I told my ex to block me on everything? So I can't even. So, yeah, I don't even know what to do at this point about the breakup healing process. Like, I feel like I've done a lot of things, and it's just like I just have to go through the motions, and I just have to let time pass. But it's like, is time healing? Time isn't even real. And it's like, I was talking about this on my TikTok a while ago. It's like I'm grieving someone as if they died, right? So if someone's loved one or someone's like husband, boyfriend, family member, best friend died, and a year later they were still just as upset about it as they were the day after it happened, you wouldn't be like, what's wrong with you? You shouldn't be over it. Like, you don't have to tell yourself you need to get over it right now. Like, you wouldn't be telling them like, move on already, it's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's the same thing almost. Like, it feels that way. So it's like, okay, I just gotta be patient with myself. It's like, what else can I do? I'm already I have these grieving nights. I basically made it for myself because on the day to day, when I get random reminders, like driving past a certain place that like strikes a memory, or someone's talking about something and it strikes a memory, or they just, sometimes it's like subtle reminders, sometimes it just like pops in for no apparent reason that I'm aware of. Dreams. I hate the dreams. Oh my gosh, the dreams, you guys. Like, I know people who are going through breakups, like, you know what I mean. Like, you just get dreams with them, and it's like, oh, a dream that you're getting back together. Oh, yay. And then you wake up and it was. Right. So, on the day to day, I will like, I'll feel that for a second, it'll be like, ugh, and it'll like start affecting my mood, but then it's like, okay, well, I'm on my way to work, so like, let me just like keep moving, or like I'm with friends, so it's like, all right, I'm not gonna bring this up. Like, we're just gonna be chill. So it's like I suppress and suppress during the day, every day, right? While I'm doing day-to-day things and I'm distracting, right? And then it catches up to you. It catches up to you where it's at a point where you can no longer ignore the built up emotions. Like it genuinely bleeds into like everything, almost like you start feeling depressed because it's like you're doing things and it's like you should be feeling happy because you're being productive in work and you're hanging out with friends, but then there's like this overwhelming like depression. And I don't personally struggle with the mental health of like being diagnosed with depression, but it is a depression feeling, like it's like a cloud that rolls in, right? And you just can't, like, it's like, okay, well, I should be happy. Well, I'm not, because I'm grieving this person currently, and I'm trying not to think about it all day every day, but it's like there because they were once a part of your everyday life, right? So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing these grieving nights, because from a young age I've conditioned myself almost to just like not cry, you know, like be strong, don't let anyone see you cry. So I got to the point, and I've been in therapy for a while, where I'm like, okay, but the sadness is there and it needs to be physically released, right? In order to get this energy blockage out of me, right? So then I was like, okay, I was talking to my therapist who's like, what is things that like are gonna make you sad? Like, okay, put on some sad music, right? Okay, if I'm looking at photos, I physically get a reaction. So I never deleted my photos from my breakup. And people might think I'm crazy. And guys, I've been through a lot of breakups before, okay? This is not like one of those. And I don't want to get too off task or too off topic, because I will definitely be making a more in-depth video about the whole breakup process when I get farther along. You know, I thought I would be farther along in a year. Nope, wrong. So whenever I get to the point where I am over this, essentially, I would love to talk about it more. But there's a huge difference between grieving a healthy relationship and grieving a non-healthy relationship. I almost feel like non-healthy relationships are easier to grieve because you can just point your anger at someone and like blame the other person. And I don't think that's healthy either. You know, when I was going through those type of breakups, I didn't know Jesus, so I didn't know about forgiveness and all that jazz. But it almost felt easier that way. And for the healthy relationship, well, see, today I'm not getting into the whole breakup thing, but I blame myself for a lot from that relationship. So I've had to deal with guilt and shame, like layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of that. And that's been really difficult. Anyways, back to the grieving nights and not deleting the photos. And it's like, I know deleting the photos is an important key to getting over a breakup, right? Well, since I wanted to start having these well, first of all, I'm just not at a place where I'm ready to let go of those photos. It was 4 years of my whole life. When I go, so they're hidden, by the way. They're in my hidden camera roll, if you know what that means. If you have an iPhone, and it's like you type in the password and then you can see the photos, and it's like in a total different area. Yeah. So, and I go through my regular camera roll just when I'm looking for certain things, and I can notice where there's puzzle pieces missing. Like, obviously that person was there for that whole entire vacation or this holiday, or just like, I remember this thing we were doing at this time. It's very obvious when I'm going through my camera roll, and it's like, I don't want those memories erased either, because those were like the best years of my life. Like, why would I just erase it? Like, I want to just, like, I like to be at a point where I'm just so grateful for that. So it's like, I don't, and it hurts. It does hurt to look at it, right? And I'm only a year past this. So yeah, for the grieving nights, I'll put on sad music. Well, now, as I've become more of a spiritual person in the Christian faith, I have been listening to worship while doing this, and it's like a whole like night for me and God to just, for me to just pray and just give all my grief to him. Does it work? I don't know, because we're still here. No. I don't mean to make that sound like anything it's not supposed to sound like. That's how I feel though, and I know I'm not alone. To people who are praying in moments of grief and you're like, is God listening to me? Is God here? When are you going to answer my prayers? And I realize that he's always answering our prayers. It's either with a yes, a no, and we don't want to accept the no. I'm really struggling with that. Or not yet. Or like, wait. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I'll go through my hidden camera roll in the photos and they eat me up every time. I've been doing this like at least once a month, every month since I started doing that like a few months after my breakup. The first few months were really messy, guys. Really messy, as one can imagine. Yeah. So I was not trying to grieve. Like, I was like, because grieving is not fun. It's not fun to feel your emotions. It's not fun to feel like someone's jabbing and stabbing your stomach repeatedly over and over and making you nauseous and making you cry until you can't breathe. You know, it's really not. I don't look forward to doing it. I will procrastinate and prolong it, but I've gone to the point where I'm putting it in my calendar and I have no other choice. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And yeah, I was just upset because I had one of my first grieving nights in a while last night, and I was just like, why is this so hard? Like, why am I still feeling this? And I get it. Like, time isn't real. Like, you know, I already know these things, but it's just annoying. It's just to the point where I'm tired and annoyed that I'm still so upset. So, and I also remember when I was like 15, 16, and I was going through my first like real breakup, and it was like a 7-month relationship, and I didn't stop crying over that man for a year and a half. So when I think about that, and that was only 7 months, and I think about 4 years, and one of the years we were living together, yeah, I gotta give myself a lot more grace, but it's just hard. Like, I just hate it. I hate it. It's my least favorite thing. I have such a hard time being alone. And it's like, okay, when I'm busy, when I'm doing my day-to-day, it's like cool. It's like it's not really super on my mind. I'm not really hyper aware that I'm alone. I used to be in the beginning because I'm so used to being in a relationship, to the point where when I was doing things like independently, like hobbies, and I didn't have anyone to like share, update my day on, it just felt so foreign. And now I'm fine with that. Now I'm honestly, I like the quietness of that, I guess. But now I just hate being in my apartment bed alone. Like, my bed is too big for one person. I stay on the one side the whole entire night. It's a queen bed. It's not like it's a king, but it's still, I hate when it feels extra empty. I hate that I'm in an apartment. I'm going into my 2nd year on the lease, and my ex has not seen my apartment. Obviously, we're in no contact. And it's just like, I hate, like, this life that I'm living is so different than what I was living before, and it's hard not sharing that, and not, you know, and everything just feels so different and like unrecognizable, to the point where it's just like, I want to go back so bad, but also I can't go back, and also I wouldn't go back because I've grown so much. I wouldn't have grown this much if I would have stayed, you know? But it's just like, I wish things could be different. Anyways, enough on that. I have so many different smaller, more in-depth videos that I can go through on the whole breakup and male validation and patterns and guilt and shame and forgiveness, and somewhere when I'm more farther along also. Well, I'll tell you how I got out of it. Right. So I've also been struggling with a work-life balance because, I don't know about y'all, But so I don't live with my parents anymore, right? My parents actually moved to Florida and I'm still in Buffalo where I grew up. I don't want to move there. I don't plan to move there. So I pay for my rent, pay for my utilities, pay for my groceries, pay for my car insurance, my gas, my phone bill, gym membership. I feel like I have a lot of auto payments going on. I have a lot of things. So I have to work a lot for that, right? To provide for myself and afford a life. And I love my job. I do respite care and community hab, so I look after children with special needs. And that's what I do. And it pays well, and I'm happy doing it. And I work with 3 different families currently. So with that schedule that I have, I'm working 6 days a week right now, Monday through Saturday. My one day off is Sundays, and honestly, I'm so glad that it's a Sunday. Sunday's the Lord's day, amen, right? So I have my Sundays for church, and it's kind of like a reset day for me. So I want to clean up around the apartment, and I want it to just be a restful day, but at the same time, so I have that desire, and that could be like some Sundays, right? And then other Sundays, I'm like, okay, this is my one day off, like, let me try to see my friends, like, I want to make sure I'm going hiking a lot this summer, and there's so many things I want to do this summer. Concerts, camping trips, music festivals, and then it's like, okay, I get stressed out because I hate having to, like, request off for work because I know a lot of the families that I work with don't really have a lot of respite workers working with them, so it's like, how are they gonna find coverage, you know? And that's stressful. And yeah, there's just so many things that I want to do this summer, but it's like I work 6 days a week. And it's stressing me out, and I have never been a morning person in my life, and this has been my lifelong goal. It's been like my New Year's resolution for like the past 3 years of trying to wake up for earlier and have a morning routine. Like, get the workout done right in the morning. Make myself breakfast. Yeah, I've been trying that. It just doesn't click for me. I just snooze the alarm. I don't even use my phone for an alarm. I have an actual alarm clock. I walk across my room to shut it off. I walk back to my bed. It's a discipline problem. I understand. I know that. It's like, okay, then just punish yourself. Tell yourself you have to go on a run if you don't. I'm just not gonna do that. I've tried it, and then I just give up. I'm just not gonna do that. I've literally gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I just need to hire someone to physically rip me out of my bed and like put a cage over my bed. Don't let me get back in it. Like, I want to hire someone to genuinely yell at me and get me out of bed. Like, and my friend who's my roommate, our work schedules just aren't, she has to be at work by 5 a.m. I'm not waking up before 5 a.m. You got me screwed up if you think that. So can't be my roommate. Like, what do I do? Genuinely, what do I do? Because I want to have like a life before work, you know? And lately I haven't, like, as the kids have been in school, I'm not working before 2 p.m. So it's like I could have a whole day before work, and that just hasn't been the case. And now it's already summer, and now my hours are going to be changing, so I should be working earlier hours and getting out earlier by the evening. So I should have a lot more time to see my friends in the evenings now, which will be nice. But all my friends' work schedules are all over the place. It's just so hard to make plans nowadays with everyone's work schedules. And it's like I don't even enjoy going out anymore on the weekends or like staying out late. So, and then on top of that, let's talk about the social media addiction of our generation and generations to come. It's getting out of hand, and I have known that I've had a social media addiction for years, right? I've tried the Apple way of like restricting your apps for like downtime. I've tried outward apps that will restrict it and make you do like breathing exercises before you open the app. I've tried offloading my apps to where they're no longer seen on my screen and I have to like go to the app store and like re-download it. I've done all the things. I finally got more strict with it this past May, which is about a month and a half ago at this point. Let me just share my experience. Yeah, so Snapchat, I've been done with that since January 1st. I don't miss it. The account's not deleted, and I understand a lot of people's excuses. Well, my memories, I can't get rid of those, and I talk to certain people on there, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I've had group chats on there. I told them, we gotta move this to iMessage. I've told everybody we're moving it to iMessage. The memories, okay, I still have my account, so if I need something, like, I'll re-download it, and I've not, it's been about 6 months, have not needed to go back in it for anything. So it's like still there. But like, you know what I'm saying? Snapchat was just such a waste of time and just a way for me to just like easy access to like talk and flirt with men, which I want nothing to do with. So bye-bye Snapchat. So right now I currently have Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook deleted, like fully deleted, not offloaded, deleted. And TikTok drafts. So I have a bunch of drafts on my old phone. Literally have not turned on my old phone in forever. Like the battery doesn't even work. Like I can't even charge my phone, so I don't even know. I haven't thought about those drafts, and then I didn't really have that many new drafts on my new phone on TikTok, so I was like, I don't even care about losing all these. Goodbye. Because TikTok is such an addiction. Yeah. So, and this was hard for me because I want to be a content creator on TikTok, on YouTube, possibly on Instagram. I'm not too crazy about, like, I don't really think I'm going to get into Instagram Reels at this moment in time. So, this was hard for me because I've been committed for a while on posting every day consistently on TikTok, but then it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of reading The Power of Now with my book club, and it showed me a lot about the importance of the present moment and how the past does not exist and the future does not exist and only right now exists. And me getting too caught up in like what I'm recording and like trying to record my daily life was taking me out of the present moment. And it was just like, okay, I just want a summer where I'm not on my phone. Like, don't catch me on my phone. Like, flip phone summer it is. Haven't bought a flip phone yet. Technically, it's not summer until June 21st, 22nd on the solstice. I'm still thinking about that. So I was like, screw the content creation. I'm going to come back better than ever with more creativity, having all this time off. And I still believe that. And with Instagram, it was a struggle at first to, well, before I fully deleted it for like the May 1st challenge until September 1st challenge for myself, I was trying to only use it like, I don't know if it was once a week or twice a week or something, and have it just offloaded on the other times. But it was really hard for me to not look up Instagram on Safari. So, and then the times where I've been really down bad in this since May 1st and like not, like I told myself I cannot re-download these apps, I cannot look them up on Safari. I've had a few nights where I've been really emotionally down bad, you know, with my breakup. And in those moments, I find myself like crumbling, like going back on my word, like reaching for the social media to make me feel worse. Like I know it's going to intentionally make me feel worse. Like, I don't know about you, but when I'm feeling really sad, like I'm like, how can I feel worse? Like if I'm already feeling this bad, why don't I just like go there? Which is really bad. So, but then it's also like a crutch for me as well. I'm just like, let me just see what people are up to. Like, what? So I have had a few moments since my social media break, and I'm like, wow, that is so unhealthy. But we're going pretty strong right now. But the YouTube, I gave myself an excuse to have YouTube because I'm like, okay, it'll be a YouTube summer since I'm not doing TikTok, and I love sharing about my life, and I love creating content. I love just like putting out things and just like having video diaries everywhere publicly. Like, it's just something, it's always been in my heart, like a passion of mine to do. Like, I literally had a YouTube channel when I was like in middle school. So I've told myself I'm gonna keep YouTube because I'm just gonna make longer form videos and post once a week on YouTube. And I did start doing that. And the problem is, in the beginning, like beginning of May, I was just filling up all my time since I had no other social media with podcasts, and I would just listen through podcasts all day, every day, back to back to back to back, like just filling in the silence. And I'm like, wow, okay, I was like, okay, well, this is just not being, like, yes, I'm watching education, like, most of them were, like, educational, like, biblical podcasts, and I'm like, okay, well, this isn't bad, you know, like, I'm learning things, and I'm growing, I guess, but it's just like, no, this is just information overload. I'm being overstimulated. Like, let me get rid of the stimulation. So I was like, okay, I'm allowing myself maybe like one podcast a day, and then I went down, and I've been going down. I'm at the point where I'm realizing that YouTube is still a form of social media. I don't watch the shorts, but it is still a problem. So I'm thinking sooner rather than later, I need to delete YouTube and just stick to YouTube Studio because I can still upload videos through YouTube Studio. And I really need to get back into my Bible because I remember when I did a social media detox for a week on Christmas vacation when I was going to Florida. I downloaded the Bible app and I read through the whole book of Genesis on my flight, and like in like the first day or two I was there, and I was like, wow. And I told myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be reading the Bible a lot more without social media. Nope, I'm just filling it in with YouTube, and I'm substituting religious content rather than the Bible, and that is not a good thing. It's a better thing than not doing anything to learn spiritually, because I'm still I consider myself a beginner. Like, I consider myself a baby Christian. And it's been about 9 months since I started pursuing Jesus and trying to learn more. It is something I feel so passionately about continuing and finding a community. I wouldn't consider it currently a huge struggle because I did luckily find a great church on my first try, and I do have a bit of a community there, and I love it there, and Sundays are my favorite day of the week, and I look forward to it, and I see a lot of familiar faces because I have gone to a few of their young adult community nights once a month, and then I started going to a Bible study group, women's only, and I met a few friends there, but unfortunately I can't go to it anymore because it was on Friday nights, and I recently just started my volunteer cheer coaching, and that's on Friday nights. So I'm currently looking for a new Bible study to join through my church. They have a lot of options, but my struggle with this is kind of friendships, because I have so many friends and I've curated them throughout the years, like since middle school, high school, college, after college. And the person I was throughout all those years was someone who was not religious at all. I was atheist for most of my life, and then I got into general spirituality. And so I've curated my friends that had similar morals and beliefs to me. And now, as I'm experiencing such an inward transformation, and I want to be more bold and authentic and outspoken in my faith. It's just a little difficult for me to feel comfortable to do that because it's just someone who I've not been ever. Like, I'm being reshaped and reborn again. And it's to the point where I feel misunderstood. And I don't know if I'm just putting that onto myself and just like projecting it almost, or judging myself through past lenses of myself. But no, like, I do notice like the side comments and the sarcasm and the laughs. I notice that other people are noticing, and it's just a little uncomfortable for me. And I try to like make myself smaller almost and try to make sure I'm not saying anything that is really gonna like throw people off or like make them think that I'm like too changed and too different to where like they can't be friends with me anymore, or like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm navigating a lot of just nourishing my friendships as I'm going through this change, and I really don't have that many friends who are also Christian, and I would like to surround myself with more Christian people because that is how I'm going to grow the most and grow the strongest and the fastest. And I am very thankful for the friends that I do have, and in all different walks and all different beliefs. So I do think I'm surrounded by very great people, but it just is hard when I feel like I'm changing a lot, and I don't know how much support I really have in that aspect. And maybe I'm just scared to just share and talk about it as much as I'd like to. And I don't blame anyone either, because like I said, from where I come from and the friend group that I pursued, it was because that was where I was at. And everybody has their own timeline with things, and me a year and a half ago would also probably think I'm insane. So I get it, and it's okay, and I'm being patient. There's a lot of unknowns with life, and I don't know where I'm going, but here we are. I just want to say I am so grateful that these are the current things I'm struggling with today, because it could be so much worse, and I recognize that. But the struggles are real, and to my capacity, they're kind of beating me up right now. But I still have hope. I don't know how I'm going to get through these things. I don't know how these things are going to turn out. I don't know what God has planned for me, but I know that all this pain is going to be used for power. And power in a healthy way, in a good way. Empowerment, almost. So, there is beauty in all of this. There is a reason for all of it. I am being formed through all of this. I'm gonna grow from it all. If you've made it to this point, honestly, thank you. Thank you for listening. And you're probably struggling as well if you've gotten to this point. So, listen, you're not alone, and we are going to get through this, okay? Everything is temporary. Change is always absolute. It's always a definite thing. Things are always going to change in this life. So your circumstances will change. Maybe they'll get worse before they get better, but just know there is better for us out there. So I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.